All right, so let's work on the very last problem from our practice test. Number 3 gives us these graphs, and we're expected to write the equation. Well, it's really helpful if you understand how the breakdown of a rational function works. So let's take some quick notes and then dive into the problem. If I have x minus a, x minus c over x plus b and x minus c, the first thing that you need to know is a whole will occur at the root of the canceled expression. So if there's a whole at x equals c, then x minus c will be in the top and in the bottom of our rational expression. So maybe we can show it like this. It comes from the top and the bottom. Whatever's left over in the top will give us our x-intercept. So if I have x minus a left in the numerator, then that means I have an x-intercept at x equals a. Notice that I'm flipping the sign. And anything that's left in the denominator will give me a vertical asymptote. So I have a vertical asymptote at x equals, again, flip the sign, negative b. So once I know how to line up x-intercepts, wholes, and vertical asymptotes, we can do these problems really easily. Check it out. So for number 1, the first graph, I guess, let's call it graph A, we have a vertical asymptote at x equals negative 1. Immediately that tells me that there should be an x plus 1 in my denominator. Notice also that we have, I'll just do everything in red. Notice also that we have a whole at x equals 4. So that tells me I have an x minus 4 and another x minus 4 in both the top and the bottom. That's the only way they would cancel to give me a whole. The last thing that I need to know is I have an x-intercept here at x equals positive 2. And so that tells me that only in the numerator I have an x minus 2. And we're done. Now, if you check the answers, we got it right. These two were switched. Doesn't matter which one comes first and which one comes second. But notice they have a negative in front. So the reason why there's a negative in the front is because on the right side, our graph is facing down. It's opening down. So you can use the right side, the way it's opening, to tell you the sign in front. Just like we did with polynomials. The sign in front told us how the right side was behaving. Well, this time the right side, if it opens down, tells us that there's a negative in front. Okay. Notice that this one on the right side, it opens upward, so there's going to be a positive in front. Don't need to worry about the sign. And pause the video here, see if you can do the same process that we did for the last graph to figure out all of the factors of this graph. So my suggestion, hopefully you pause the video, is it's so much easier if you label things. So we have a vertical asymptote at x equals negative 1, a whole at x equals 2, and an x-intercept at negative 3. Let's start with our x-intercept this time. X-intercepts come from the numerator. Moving on to our vertical asymptote of negative 1. That comes from our denominator. Moving to our whole at x equals 2, that means I have an x minus 2 in both the numerator and the denominator. And ta-da, we're done. Hopefully this video was helpful and cleared up some confusion.